Okay, listen, I don't know what in the side chick at work is going on right now, but my husband came home the other day and said that they had a safety meeting at work about wearing wedding rings because apparently, I don't know, you can get your finger chopped off or whatever.
All right, so I had more than a few of my followers send me that video along with a couple of others by the same woman, which I'll get to in a little bit, asking me to do a commentary on it. Now, let me be clear up front. I'm fully aware that she's rage baiting with this video. She doesn't actually mean what she's saying. She's just going for the clicks and likes. And credit where credit's due, it's worked. She's got well over 3 million views, and she's making bank on it. So I'm not going to put too much effort into calling her out, but I'm going to point out a few things that are happening in her comment section. But before I do, let's see a little bit more of her video, shall we?
The way that I became unwell immediately. Because let me tell you, if he stops wearing his wedding ring at work, the next safety meeting that they're going to have is going to be what to do in the event that a Chevy Equinox drives through the front door of the building.
Ah, okay. Well, there's a term for that. It's called domestic violence. Because you see, that's what someone who is a perpetrator of domestic violence would advocate for. Because one of the biggest triggers that causes people to commit domestic violence is insecurity. Something she's trying to make a joke out of. Something she's trying to make money off of. But it gets better. Or should I say, worse.
I'm not concerned with the risks of wearing wedding rings at work. I'm not. You can lose your whole finger. You can rip the skin off of it. You can break it in 14 different places. I don't care.
Now, I'll point out again, she's doing this for rage baiting. She's trying to get a ton of clicks and likes. The part she doesn't want to have a discussion about, I'm sure, is that what she just described happens all of the time. And I've seen guys whose wives have lost their minds because they didn't wear a wedding ring at work and who made their husbands' lives miserable. Now, she, of course, is going to say she wasn't aware of that. And I don't know how many guys have probably lost their fingers because, well, we can't worry about safety. Her insecurity is what matters. But hey, if it gets me clicks and likes, why not? Imagine if I made that video, what would happen? Women would lose their minds. And if you don't believe me, just go look up the Ballerina Farm debacle. The more important point, though, is what'll happen if you go into the comments on her video. You'll see some calling her out for it, to be sure, but you're going to see a whole bunch of them going, "You go, sister, I agree with you." And then she's going in and commenting after that, goading them on even further. Because she doesn't seem to make the connection that they actually think she's serious. Yes, in other areas, she's trying to make it clear it's a joke. But the internet, well, logic doesn't always apply, especially with women. But as bad as that is, she then decided to double down with another video.
Okay, listen, this morning my husband sprayed cologne on himself before work, and I'm unwell. Do you want to know why I'm unwell? Would you like to know? Well, because the motherfucker's a diesel mechanic. He's a diesel mechanic. Why do you need to smell good as a diesel mechanic? Who the fuck are you trying to smell good for?
Says the apparently married woman sitting half naked in a car wearing enough makeup to float a battleship. Why do you have to wear that type of clothing and makeup if you're already married? Who are you trying to impress? See, it can work both ways, can it? And I'll bet you a bunch of women are going to, again, lose their minds because I just said that. And that's the point. Because, again, she's rage baiting. She's trying to get women stirred up. And she's succeeded. Another video with well over 3 million views. She's making a ton of money. And the women in the comments are showing that they completely agree with what she's saying. I mean, again, I have to give her credit. She's playing the game. She's realized that the best way to make money is to tap into women's emotions. It's exactly what divorce lawyers do and the media does. Get a bunch of women upset. They're going to comment, click, and like. Or in the case of the lawyers, getting them to file tons of motions to go after the man they supposedly used to love. And you get to sit back and rake in the dough. The fact that it's going to cause strife between relationships, maybe even cause some divorces, who cares? It's all about the Benjamins for her, baby.
I'm going to go home and I'm going to empty out all of his cologne bottles, okay? Once they're empty, I'm going to piss in them. I'm going to piss in them so that when he sprays himself with cologne tomorrow, it's like a cat marking their territory.
Now again, that's a form of domestic violence. She's going to claim that she's only joking, but if you go into the comments on our video, there's women in there saying, "What a great idea. I'm going to go do that too." And those women are anything but joking. And then she made comments under that supporting them doing that. She's literally advocating for those women to commit domestic violence against their husbands. All to make a few bucks. Speaks volumes, doesn't it? Oh, and before we go, let me point out one other little fun thing she's done. See, she's been getting called out by guys doing exactly what I've just did, pointing out, let's just say, the error of her ways. And rather than taking ownership or responsibility or accepting that maybe what the guys are saying, that this might not be appropriate, or in the case of the safety issue about wearing a wedding ring, how their wives ended up losing their minds over it, she did what women have done for all of eternity. Rather than listen and acknowledge what the men are saying, she went on the attack. She doesn't want to hear about their issues or trauma. Oh no, she can't have that. She decided to go and make a video like this.
Hey, honey, I'm a little bitch and I said something mean to a woman on the internet and she said something back. Can you come in here and help me? Can you come in here and defend me, please, honey? Thank you.
Now look, I understand that creators are out there trying to make a buck, and I have no problem with that. But there are certain lines that you should not be crossing. And playing off women's insecurities, creating strife within relationships, possibly even divorces, and advocating for domestic violence are three of the biggest lines I say no one should ever cross. And yet, she did. All to make a buck for herself. And I'm willing to bet her and all her followers are going to get real upset when they see this video. They'll probably even go and mass report it. Which just shows you, it isn't the men who are being the little bitches. It's